Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Divine Dojo. My name is Gabriela and I am here to do your reading for June 30th through July 6th. So I'm going to go through the astrology and then get into the tarot. So what I like to do is just clear the energy and take a couple breaths. You know the drill. This is my clearing tuning fork. It's 4996 hertz, 4096 hertz. So it just clears the energy, clears the air, and clears from the previous reading. So, ready? 1, 2, 3. Releasing all negative thoughts and all negative energy from our mind, body, and spirit. All right, so we're in July. What the fuck? You know, like we're here. This time is just timing. It's just going so fast. I don't even know where to begin. But so let's start with today. Today, Monday, the moon is in Virgo. I'm getting these readings out late as per usual. I try to do these on Sunday, but my time now, like with my mom and stuff, is just taking up so much of my time. So I'm gonna get into a schedule. So, you know, bear with me. I will be doing monthly readings as well, but like for right now is just not happening. So anyhow, so weeklies are gonna be happening. So, but I'm gonna try and get them out earlier and just figuring out a time when I can do that. Plus I might be, you know, getting something part-time over here as well. So in Texas, just to kind of A, get to know the city, and then B, you know, earn some extra dough. I like knowing I've lived in LA my whole life. So for me, like not knowing what the hell or where the hell I'm at, kind of, and orientating myself has been really annoying. But anyhow, let's get into it. Today, the Monday, the moon is in Virgo and it conjuncts Mars, which is a great day, which was what I've been doing all morning. That's why I'm getting these readings out late, is good for detailed tasks and organizations and like steady tackling of like small projects. Tomorrow, July 1st, the moon first through the 2nd, the moon is in Libra, enters Libra, and then which is trine Uranus, which is great because if there's any adjustments that need to be made in whatever situation, person, place, thing, now is the time because you can cultivate big changes with those adjustments that you make. So what else? July 3rd, 4th, the moon is in Scorpio. So obviously that gives us more emotionality, more depth, more transformation, transformative energy. Also that day, Venus ingresses into Gemini, making our communication and love connections more intellectual. So there's definitely, we're gonna want a lot more mental stimulation with Venus and Gemini. More variety, more playfulness, more of a playful approach to our love and our relationships. So just think of like Venus and Gemini as like the social butterfly. And then what else? July 5th, the moon is still in Scorpio and also trining the sun in Cancer. So definitely a time after, especially after the probably 4th of July festivities, you know, it's good for comfort, rest, creativity, emotional healing, and self-care. What else is happening on that? I think Neptune retrogrades too in Aries on that same day on 4th of July. I didn't write it down, but it's on here. So I think it is on 4th of July. Neptune retrogrades in Aries. So this is more of a dissolving of the illusions, particularly more towards around ourselves, our personal identity, and our purpose and our creative vision. So the retrograde definitely is good for reflecting on that, like where we have been like deceiving ourselves. So that illusion kind of will come to light, you know, whenever there's been like some sort of like self-deception, that will definitely come out. What else? July 6th, the moon moves into Sagittarius, you know, creating a little bit more optimistic vibe, more bigger ideas, and gives us a little bit more creative inspiration. So Venus in Gemini will form a supportive sextile with Saturn and Neptune on that day. So July 6th is a good day too. Overall, good week, you know, nothing insane, so thank God. But you know, shit's gonna start to get a lot of Gemini, so a lot of mental stability coming up in the next couple of weeks. Venus in Gemini, and then oh yeah, and then like I think on Monday or Tuesday, Uranus and Taurus moves into Gemini. So again, we're going to want a lot of mental stimulation, but also, you know, be wary of that mental stimulation, because it can just be a lot of mental health issues. So, you know. All right, let's get started with the Catalyst card. All right, Spirit, I invite you in to give me clarity for the Taurus collective. I'm going to take the top one, the Sustainer. I like this. The Sustainer is one who, you know, like creates and cultivates and knows how to sustain themselves and life. We'll read that at the end. So let's get started with the tarot. It is raining. It was like all sunny and hot. Now it's hot and raining. I swear this weather is so... I'm getting used to it. All right, Spirit, what we got? What do we got for Taurians? For my Taurus babies. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Good week. July is going to be definitely about retrograde city, because not only is Neptune retrograding, I believe Mercury will be retrograding as well, or has it gone retrograde? I don't remember. No, not yet, but yeah, so there's going to be a lot of retrograde starting in this month. So interesting. Well, maybe there is a divine counterpart. I'm going to take those because they came out. This is interesting because these came out for for Aries as well. Well, you start off with the Hangman reverse, and then you have the Queen of Swords with the Four of Pentacles reverse. Queen of Swords is upright. Then you have the Nine of Pentacles upright, and then the King of Swords. So this is about a relationship, or maybe like a partnership, because you do have the divine counterparts here, the King and Queen. Again, going back to that Gemini energy, sword energy is definitely more of that mental energy that we have. So yeah, there might have been some delays, or maybe a change of perspective that has been going on, or that has been needed. It's interesting that the Queen of Swords is facing the King of Swords, but we have in between them the Four of Pentacles reverse, and then the Nine of Pentacles upright. So maybe there has been some disharmony with like some financial matters, whether it's in like your romantic partnership or in love. Maybe some financial things have been straining the relationship, coming in between the relationship or partnership. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. There's been some financial strain, but it looks like that's coming to an end, that maybe that perspective or maybe you need to change your perspective on something to have this harmony with the Nine of Pentacles, because that's like wish fulfillment, right? That's like, you know, that's like definitely the rewards and the fruits of the labor, or like they have the financial capacity and the wealth and the money, and it's all good, right? And in the independence, but maybe there has been some like conflict in that, you know, maybe some possessiveness, maybe something having to do with that. I don't know. It's going to be different for every Taurus, obviously. But after that, then in the series, I got the Star reverse, the Hermit upright, and then the Page of Pentacle, the Knight of Pentacles reverse. So yeah, something tells me that like there's been some sort of maybe some financial hardship that like hopefully that you're coming out of, or will be coming out of here pretty soon. Maybe as a couple, or in partnership, or in a business partnership, but there's definitely a change because you've done some, you know, introspection, some soul searching with this as well, with the Hermit. But there needs to be, you know, some discipline, some, I don't want to say self-sacrifice, because it seems like, not that this was self-sacrifice over here. This was more like the miser, you know, like greediness, maybe some possessiveness. So I don't want to say like self-sacrifice, but, you know, definitely some work needs to be done to change the dynamic of this financial situation, basically. Yeah, because maybe you have been feeling like there's been like work with no like reward, you know, in this partnership and or relationship, you know, whether it be business and or in love or romantic. Yeah, I want to get some clarity on why the Star is here. Why is the Star here? Why is the Star reversed here? Thank you. Yeah, there's definitely, you've been all up in your head about this situation, and I think this week is, you know, that's coming to an end with, you know, the Nine of Swords reverse. It's like that inner turmoil is, you know, has been eating away at you, right, Taurus? But that's going to be going away because we have the Judgment card coming up. So there's definitely going to be some sort of resolution to this. Some sort of decision is going to be made. And maybe it has, I don't see any like legality here. You know, I don't see the Hierophant or anything like that. But yeah, some sort of solution is going to come to this week. And hopefully that mental energy. What is this about, Spirit? Wow, it's really pouring out there. So I'm going to take these. I got the 8 of Swords on the upright. Yeah, it's maybe restricted you, you know, this financial kind of hardship that you're moving out of, and maybe has restricted you, and you haven't been able to see like a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, because you guys, whether it be in partnership or whatever, you've been in conflict with this, you know, like defending yourself, defending your ground, feeling probably overwhelmed with everything. And maybe overly protective, and because there has been some deceptive energy here at play. Interesting. What kind of advice do you give for this week? Because I feel it's changing, but there's something with the mindset that needs to change too, in the thoughts. the advice for Taurus here? I'm going to take that. The King of Wands. Not to be impulsive. He has high expectations. Yeah, there's definitely been some like secrets. This is the secrets will, again, with this Neptune retrograding in Aries, I think on the 4th, there will be some illusions, you know, being brought to the light, because there has been some hard work. There has been, you know, a lot put into this, and you got the sun and the moon were reversed, you know. Again, this is like the male and female here, you know, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. It might be a partnership, maybe a love partnership. I don't know. It could still be a business partnership, or maybe like a male and female type of energetic going on here. There is the Ten of Swords, like the worst of it is over. So there's definitely an ending to this. Yeah, and it's definitely caused you to feel down. Yeah, there's been a reason why you have been guarded about this. Rightfully so, because there has been some deception. Huh. It looks like it's coming to an end. We got the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords. And then the King and Queen, the Queen and King of Swords as well. So you got the whole shebang-a-lang-a. What is the advice here? How can Taurus move forward with this? Oh, that flew out. Yeah, moving on. Yeah, I mean, this one is reversed, and it says, you know, if you've ever like done the beginning tarot stuff, it gives you information, but it says it's like trying one more time, or not deciding, or you're fearing the loss of what all of this is causing, then, you know, but it's time to move on. It's time to move this 8 of Cups in the upright. That's definitely the advice, but you can't, I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? You can try one more time with this situation, but in my opinion, looking at this with being in deception energy, and like there's definitely been some like secrets and stuff, I would definitely try and move on from this. Even if it is scary to lose or change direction. The Sustainer. You will be fine. You know how to sustain yourself. Okay, you're not talking. What is the advice? Yeah, the advice is defend yourself, but like you don't have to be defensive, but you know, protect yourself, set some boundaries, right, to protect your energy, to protect your assets, you know, because this does look like it's financial, to protect your mental health, to protect, you know, not be defensive like fighting, but you know, be on you know, setting those boundaries and saying no, and you know, no is a full sentence, as I tell people all the time. Setting those boundaries and not, you know, being and protecting yourself basically, and not being in that again, in that nostalgic fear of change, looking back because, you know, maybe you thought this was something else that it turned out to be another thing that was kind of deceptive and not really truthful and honest and pure. Because you do have the Queen of Wands, and she knows what's up, right? The Queen of Wands is solid. She's emotionally balanced. She's stable. She's a good leader. And that's like kind of your energy is what I'm sensing. And that's the advice. Being in her power, you know, regaining your power and your sense of self and having those boundaries. You know, that queen is not going to have her boundaries be crossed for sure, especially with that cat there. That cat is like the intuition, right? Yeah. And then you get the devil upright. So maybe this is like a relationship that's like really tempting and really, you know, hot and amazing or whatever, you know, like, you know, relationships that put you through like emotional roller coasters. We tend to like gravitate those, especially if we're not healed in our wounds. You know, we tend to think that that's like passion. It's really not, you know, it's basically trauma, traumatic people coming together and, you know, doing their thing, and we think it's passion. It's not passion. This situation has been dishonest and deceitful, and there's been secrets, and it's caused you definitely mental anguish and pain and all of that, but it's over. But there will be that temptation this week, so she's not letting this a-hole cross her boundaries. So up to you. That's the advice. The sustainer. What do you have for my, sorry, I just got itchy. For my beautiful Taurus. I can't believe how much it's raining. And in between worlds. Spirit doesn't lie. Yeah, you're just like, you're not deciding, and you need to decide. And that's what this hangman is about, right? He's like not deciding, and maybe because this is like a hot and steamy type of situation, and or a partnership or whatever, or you really like got your rocks off and enjoyed yourself, or you know, you thought it was great when it really wasn't. It was super deceptive. You know, you're in between worlds, and you need to like not be in the shadows anymore about this, and come into the light and the reality of what this was for you, Taurus. I'm gonna get one of these. What advice do you have for, what other messages / advice do you have for Taurus? It's up to you. It's up to you. Either you let this person, this devil, this lady, this man, this hottie, this, you know, cross your boundary, or you don't. Or you leave this, or you don't, right? Or you stay in this like 8, 9, 10 energy. You can stay there if you want. Can't get any worse in terms of, I mean, it can stay bad. It's up to you. It's up to you. I love it. Spirit doesn't lie. I'm telling you. Let me read the sustainer. You know, actually, let me put you an angel number card, and then we'll read the sustainer and call it a day. It's pretty clear. One message for Taurus, my Taurian peep. Lord. What's this say? Protection. What did I say? You don't have to be like a defensive. You just gotta protect yourself, set your boundaries, and don't let anybody cross that shit. And you gotta be strong about it, right? So what does it say? It says, prepare for blessings you've been waiting for. They're on their way. You were born for a higher purpose. Focus your energy on your goals and trust that the universe will align the right people, opportunities, and resources to realize your dreams. Yeah. Yeah, because this was fucked up, whatever this was. And it might not resonate with all the Tauruses, so check for your other placements. I'm doing this for the Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So let me read the sustainer, and we'll call it a day. Oh, I opened right up to it. the sustainer. It says, the peacemaker, the upholder, the preserver. The sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, which Taurians do. They love to eat too. They have a natural inclination to nurture others, to achieve archive, to preserve earth resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly. And again, this is up to you whether or not you want to sustain this whack-ass situation that has been going on here, that has been full of like deception and secrets and lies. I don't know. What does it say? The sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. Yeah. It's either, you know, you sustain yourself, or you sustain, like, you know, this energy of like this, where is he? This devil. I don't even know where he went at this point, but whatever. This devil with, you know, bad habits, self-sabotage, you know, self-sacrifice, and not having any boundaries, right? Or you sustain yourself by having boundaries and having people respect them. So that's what I got for you, my loves. I love you. I hope, please do comment, like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what the hell this is about, because I am super interested. I love you all so much. Peace.